In a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that ما من مسلم يدعو بدعوة ليس فيها إثم ولا قطيعة رحم إلا أعطاه الله بها إحدى ثلاث إما أن يعجل له دعوته وإما أن يدخرها له في الآخرة وإما أن يصرف عنه من سوء مثله. The meaning of this hadith is that no Muslim will make a dua as long as he avoids something sinful or trying to break family ties, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him one of the three things. Either he brings about quickly what he made dua for, or he stores it for him in the hereafter, or he averts him from similar harm. There is not a single dua which is unresponded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except if that particular dua is a sinful one, except if we ask something sinful. We ask, for example, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make a way out for me in a haram relationship. Allah will not answer that particular dua because it's a sinful one. Or we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us haram money. Those type of dua Allah will not answer. Or if the dua that we are making is a dua that has to do with the breaking of family ties, of for example, if I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to separate myself from my mother or my father or my own sister, those kind of dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not answer. But beside those two kinds of dua, the Prophet ﷺ is telling us here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will respond. However, He does not respond the way we always think. We think that if I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for A, He will give me A. That's the only way I will be sure that my dua is answered, right? But this is not the reality of dua. The reality of dua is that sometimes we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something, and the way He responded to us is that He gives us exactly what we've asked Him for, right? But this is not the only way. There are two other ways in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to our dua. Here the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us that either He brings about quickly what we meant for dua for, or He stores it for him in the hereafter. This is very important. Sometimes you will get the answer of your dua in the hereafter, not now, in the hereafter. And one thing which is amazing about the hereafter, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us in Surah Al-Duha, when He said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى, that the hereafter is far better for you than this world. This is one of the interpretation of this verse. So everything that we get in the hereafter, instead of getting it in this world, but it is better. We will get it better. It's far better than getting it in this world. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delay the answer of our dua until the hereafter, believe me, you will be pleased, because you will be far pleased than if He had given you here in this life, because the hereafter is far better than this world. Another way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala respond to our dua is that He may not respond, He averts the person's dua from a similar harm. I mean, He exchanged that dua by saving that person from a similar harm. And there are two interpretations of that. Certain ulama said that here He means that if I ask Allah something which seemed to be amazing for me, but the reality is it tragic. I don't really know that this is tragic for me. So by not responding to that dua, He is saving me from harm. Sometimes I may feel like if I could just marry that person, maybe I'll be happy because I see that there is not a good person like him and all of that. But maybe we just don't really know that kind of person. We think we know him, but we don't really know him. He have put up a mask, like many people say. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not respond to me, and I didn't get to marry that person. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saving me from a harm, from the harm of being unhappy in my marriage, because that person is not what I think he is. We always go through that. We think a person is good, but if we really, really live with that person, we realize that he is not the one I think he was. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us in the Quran that عَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ. It may be that you hate something and it is good for you. And it may be that you like something and it is bad for you. And Allah knows and we don't know. So the only one who knows what is good for you, for me and you, is Allah. So if He I'm not just talking about marriage. It could be a work, a job. This is one interpretation. And another interpretation of this is that maybe in our life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed in our qadr that we may go through an accident, for example. So when we make a dua, He may take this accident or this harm that we may go through and remove it by exchange of our dua. He may take our dua and exchange that harm that would happen to us by